Hey guys. Sorry. How you doing? We're going to discuss primary method. Okay, so this will show you the difference. If you want to see the method we talked about yesterday, go look at Joseph and June's photos. They can be found on my TikTok account, my Facebook page, my Instagram, and my YouTube. Okay? So, this is Nino, aka Solon. He was made, I didn't do his fingertips yet, but I'm going to. He went to my sister. So, I'm going to go over, because his skin tone is not as dark as Easton. So we're going to go over his skin tone first. And then if you want a darker skin tone like biracial or, just a more olive complexion, we'll go over Easton for that. So here's Nino. He's already been matted with 3D dewy skin. It's a very matte kind of varnish, and it holds the paint amazingly well. And it's made by Ultimate Fusion, and it can be bought on dollsbysandy.com, and you can use it over any air dry kind of paint. Okay, so let's go over Nino. Okay, so the first thing I did with Nino is I did a blue wash, which was a neutralizer. Okay, so that does not count as your wash. That is a neutralizer, which takes out the peachy or redness in the kit and gives you a more skin base to work on. Then I did the first round of washes, which is only 3 colors: red, yellow, and blue. They are all primary colors: primary red, primary yellow, primary blue by Ultimate Fusion. If you're using Folk Art, just compare, look at pictures of what primary red should look like, and you can compare that to your paints. Okay, that's what I did when I was using Liquid X Basic, because the primary red in Liquid X Basic comes out pink. So that wasn't a very good primary red. So sometimes primary colors don't come out as primary colors with other brands. But with Ultimate Fusion, it's labeled primary red, primary yellow, primary blue. And I did make a mistake in the first video. It's red, yellow, blue. You don't have to do it that way. Some artists will go blue, yellow, red if they're not neutralizing. Some people will go red, blue, yellow. I mean, it's all about what you like. Once you learn how to do your babies, you'll come up with what you like better. But I go by Sue Ellen, who generally does red, yellow, blue. Okay, next was his second wash. He wound up with some blue spillage on him, so I wound up doing 2 red washes on him to match him up. But generally, you would do red, yellow, and blue. If you feel that the blue was too dark, then you can do 2 reds to even it out. But generally, it's another red, yellow, and blue. Next thing I did on him was a modeling. So I did a red modeling, purple modeling, and green modeling. The modeling looks like a lime color. Actually, I'll show you right now. Now this is with Ultimate Fusion, and I just mixed my primary colors to get it. You see that color? So it's a little darker than the lime, but it's like a dark line. because I didn't want to put too much white in it to lighten it up. Okay. After I did the blue, or sorry, after I did the red, purple, and green modeling, I did his creases. Then I did his veins, and remember, like I said in the other video, I always start his veins at the back of his head and then come up and then to the front. That way you'll know if your color is too dark or too translucent. Because it won't matter if your baby's going to have hair or if it's going to be bald, just put a hat on. Then after I did that, I did okay, the creases that I use are powdered, like I showed you in the other video. So by Coastal Scents, and I use the color Fine Wine. Because that is a powder, I had to add, when I did my washes again, I had to add a small amount of sealer to hold in the powders so they wouldn't chip off or come off during painting. So if you're using paint, you don't need to put sealer in your next washes. But I did because of the powders. Okay. So I did the red wash with the sealer and then a yellow wash. No, sorry. Okay, I know I mixed these up somehow. Red wash with sealer. Okay. Red wash with sealer, then the yellow wash, then blue wash. Then we go on to his texturing, which I explained in the very first video. Which the colors for texturing is the exact same as your washes, which is red, yellow, and blue. Then I did his creases again, because over time you're going to wash out the creasing, depending how dark you started the creasing. So because I redid the creasing, I did another red wash with sealer. Then I did the details, and what I did was I looked at another artist's photos for learning experience. I did not copy, but I to learn the detailing. That's what artists do, non-master artists. So in here I added, because he's a young baby, he's about 3 months, so I added blue in the eye here, and I added blue here. Now sometimes I do that with powder, but not all the time. So it would have been primary blue that I would have added in here, up in here around his eye here, in the other eye, and then just up in here because he squinted where the eyebrow is. So because his eyes are squinted, the blood is going to pull more to the front. I also did blue just under the lips here and added it a little bit to the lips. And of course, I did blue in the hands area, in the middle of the hand here, and I did blue in the middle of his foot. Shading, you know, your shadings. I'm gonna be adding pictures that I learned in the very beginning for my shading and blushing, and hopefully that will guide you guys. So those photos will be at the end of the video, and you can always screenshot them. If you don't know how to screenshot and you need me to send you the photos, just let me know, and I'll do that. So after the detailing, which I also did red around the nose, like around the nose here, red up in the nose. I also did blue up in the nose. I did red around the earlobes, just the cartilage part, the lobe part up here. And then I also added blue and red inside the ear, and yellow. The yellows were more of the fat and bone is, and then you add blue in the shaded area, and then red where be a little red. I also added red to all his fingertips, as you can see, and his toes tips, and on in his knuckles here, but not just subtle in his knuckles. All his blushing was done in powder. So I did some touch-up creasing at the very end, and I did his blushing. So what I do, what I learned from another artist, is I take my fine wine powder and I put it on a texture sponge and I blot it on, and it almost looks like a like the temperature change, like the red flush look they get in their cheeks and stuff, and on their forehead, and then I put some red on his chin, and I did the same thing to his elbows, and his knees were not blushed, I do not believe, no, but his elbows were, because I didn't blush his knees because he's not crawling yet, so he's 3 months old, so generally it would be more of a mottled look on the knees, because usually babies get red knees from crawling around and tummy time and all that, and because his legs are much shorter. That's just how I did it. Some people do blush Nino's knees. He is a baby with dwarfism, so his stature is a lot different. So, and that's how my sister wanted him. Okay, so now we're going to go over Easton. Now, this is if you want, she's not quite done yet, but I can show you where I'm at right now. So I did more, she looks lighter because of I have a headlight over me. So she's going to look lighter in the video than what she actually is. Okay, but I'm just going to, you can see that her skin tone is darker than his skin tone, okay? So if you want more of a darker olive look, you can use that as biracial, or some children have more of an olive skin, if they're like maybe perhaps native. Okay, so what I did for Easton, now this is for a darker tone, okay? I did a red wash, yellow wash, blue wash, red modeling, purple modeling, green modeling, creases, veins, red wash with sealer because of the powders. Again, if you're using paint, ignore the sealer part for creasing. Then I did yellow wash, blue wash. Then I did red texturing, yellow texturing, blue texturing. Then I did her creases. Then I did another red wash with sealer, yellow wash, blue wash. Then I did the texturing again, red texture, yellow texture, blue texture. And because her skin looked more solid, I added red modeling, purple modeling, and green modeling to bring out the more realism, because her modeling had been washed out. And you can do that. It all depends on how much realism you want. Okay, and for my babies, like I explained, I use kabuki brushes when after I put the wash on the baby. I use a kabuki brush and pounce it lightly. I do not use the wedges for pouncing. I only do that on silicone because it gives a more flat look. If you use a kabuki brush, you get a more skin tony look. So if you have any questions about this video, please feel free to ask me. I'd be really happy to help you. Thanks for watching.